All right, welcome to Tea Time with Olive. Here we are. Let's take a sip. Cool. So here we go. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is B.A. Hunter. I'm a stand-up comedian from Solano County, Vacaville, to be precise. Vacaville, also known as Cowtown. I don't really know why it's known as Cowtown.
You know
do,
what?
Do you know?
Kind of.
Take it away.
Kind of smells when you drive that way.
Well, wait,
or never mind. That's Tracy.
I thought it was a Spanish thing, is what I actually thought it was. But you know, maybe we'll go with your thought process.
Absolutely. So here we go. So tell us. I know you have an event coming, right?
Yes.
We have an event on the.
It's actually tonight. I have a
No way.
Yes, yeah, I have a show tonight, a comedy showcase.
What? That's why I got him.
That's exactly her timing.
I saw his poster. See, and people say social media is not good.
It's very.
What are you
good.
talking about? Yeah,
It's
I
all
saw
I
your
use
poster, and I said, you know what? Let me check it out. And I had another guest for tonight. Unfortunately, because of the timing, the ones that are watching. If you're wondering why the time of the show changed, it's because Kwana and Tony here, it's during the election, so they're working with some politicians, and in the evenings they do some work with them. So because of that, we said, okay, let's go ahead and do it during the day. So that's why, I contacted you.
I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, your name is really interesting.
Is it?
Yeah, it's funny.
Well, I try to make it funny.
Does that go with your character? Yes.
I try to make it. I mean, it's funny to B.A. Hunter. I get it all the time. People ask me, what B.A. What does that stand for? You know, black accidentally. Big asshole, all types of things. I mean, just to let the cat out of the bag, all it is just my first and middle initial, Brian Anthony Hunter.
Oh, okay. So here we go. We got Brian.
See, you got the scoop. Put it out here on your show.
All right. Got you. So, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing stand-up comedy probably for about 8 years now. I would call myself a journeyman stand-up comic. I don't do it for a living. I mean, I make money doing it, but I don't do it for a living. I have a regular Joe job, a day job, working in an emergency room.
It's kind of like a fun hobby.
An aggressive hobby is what I like to call it. You know,
good.
I do it as long as my wife's not getting upset. Once my wife starts getting a little bothered, that's when I have to rear it back a little bit. You know what I mean?
Are you one of those comedians that you literally you kind of put your wife on the spot, or no?
I have some material concerning my wife, my kids, and my family, but I don't. Somebody asked me about that one time, and I said I would rather not have my daughter on a couch somewhere talking to a psychologist about her dad telling everybody about her deepest, darkest secrets. But some of the things, they end up in the act. They just can't help it, you know.
Right.
I mean, definitely.
You know what? I just came around. It's a story, so I'm not gonna mention the person's name, but. Somebody was invited to somebody's house, right? So it was a party. So as he approached to the friend's house, there was 2 doors. So both doors, one said man, one said woman. So he said, okay, never seen 2 doors in the same house. So he goes to the men's. He opened the door. As he took 2 steps, there was another 2 door. It said friends and it said family. So he said, okay, I guess I'm friends. So he opened the friend one. And as he took 2 more steps, there was 2 more doors. And he goes, what is this? And this one says with gift or without gift. So he goes, okay, I don't have a gift. So he opens the door. Guess where he ends up?
Where?
Outside.
Of course. That's right, hey.
You don't have a gift, you're not welcome.
Yes.
You go get a gift and you come back.
I'm going to remember that. I'm going to definitely remember that.
So anyways, your turn.
That's a story. Well, you asked me about my comedy and how's it going. Another thing that gets added into my comedic, that I use is my ethnicity, or the question of what it is. I mean,
what is it?
Well, see, exactly my point. See, because when I meet people for the first time, I'll walk in and I'll look at them and I'll see their eyes just darting up and down, looking at me, and they're trying to figure out what I am. And it's this thing to where we have to pigeonhole everybody. And I gotta be honest. I mean, I would probably ask you. I'm pretty sure you've probably been asked that as well. I mean, we all know. Well, you're beautiful, first of all. Okay, but other than that, I'm sure you get that as well.
I do.
I mean, and how do you answer that?
I say, well, I'm a businesswoman, so when they ask me, what are you? I usually say, what do you want me to be? I'll be what you want me to be. And then they ask me, what's my religion? And everybody knows I always say my religion's humanity. So I really don't give them the answer that they want to hear, basically.
Yeah, you didn't really give me an answer. And I like that.
Yeah, I like to keep you wondering like that. So what are you?
See, okay, I get it from I'm black.
Can I hold it 1 second? What? Okay.
What?
What? Okay. So I just want to say to my Facebook fans that if you're watching me live right now on Facebook, the internet connection is not so wonderful. So go on YouTube on PTV1, and here we go. So PTV1.
My folks
click on the yellow icon and see, the internet's bad. So click on the yellow icon and watch us live there. So because looks like we're breaking here on internet's not so great. So anyways, so you are black.
I'm brown.
I really thought probably if I may, I thought you were probably from Philippines.
That's the one, the
Right.
number one. And that has made it into my act. I have, and to me, some of the best jokes that you do are real. They're your life.
Right.
And I have instances where I talk about how I walk into a room, see an elderly Filipino woman, and she's looking at me and she says, "Are you Filipino? Are you Filipino?" I'm like, "Why are you whispering?"
They all of a sudden they start speaking Tagalog with you, and you're like, what?
I had an elderly patient get mad at me when I tell her I wasn't Filipino. She said, "You're a liar!" She was screaming at me.
You've changed. How can you change? Right.
Yeah, I felt like calling my mom on my break and saying, "Mom, am I Filipino? Did you lie to me? I mean, what is this? Everyone thinks I am. But no, I'm black. I'm just black."
You usually question like that between you and I. You ask, you question your father.
Maybe. Yeah, exactly, huh?
I'm just saying.
My mother was just the vessel. Is that what it is? Or
yeah, but I'm not getting there. Maybe Mom's watching the show, so I'm not getting there. Right. So you are black.
I'm brown. My mom, my mother is black too. She's light skinned black.
Mm-hmm.
She's red bone. Mm-hmm. People think she's Creole actually.
Okay.
When they see her. My dad just black man, dark skin black. My parents are divorced. Not that matters, but that. And so you put me, and this is me.
Right.
And I think the thing is because I'm bald. If
You're
I had,
bald?
well, yeah. well, and again, see, I shaved my head because if I didn't shave my head, I'd be balding.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It'd be falling out. People would
right.
see it, and I just was like, no. I had
Which one is easier? Sometimes I wonder, is it easier to shave every morning? Because shaving, come on, ladies. I'm just saying, shaving's a lot of work. So, okay, so is it easier to shave every morning or is it just to fix the hair?
I've been doing it since 1999. So I do it. When I get up in the morning, I do it in the shower every day.
Okay. Do you think would it be better to wax or laser?
No, that would be painful. I don't want the pain.
But how would
I just
it
want
be
the look.
Laser?
Well, laser would laser be permanent? Is that what you're saying? So I'm gonna go somewhere and have them shoot a laser all over my head.
Well,
how does that work?
I don't know. It might affect your brain cells.
I need those for a little while longer.
Right, it might freeze your brain cells. Yeah, let's not go there.
Well, so I remember another person asked, "Why don't you just do Nair?" I thought, no, isn't that worse? Nair,
Right.
Nair, what is that? Isn't that where you you rip the roots out or something?
Haven't done it, but yeah, it sounds. I can't see you. I can only see you bald. Sorry, I can only see you bald. So going on on your looks. So for me, it's because a lot of people question me. That what I am. I have such a beautiful mix that we have my grandparents from my mother's side are part from Russia and part from Kashmir, India, and then it comes my grandparents from Afghanistan that are a good mix of Afghans and Iran. Okay. So it's a really good mix. So both my sister and my brother, they definitely look like they belong to the family. They really got the looks, but here comes the black sheep and the family. You? Me.
You're the black sheep. Okay.
Yes, and I don't look like any of them.
So if I were to go somewhere and see family pictures,
Yeah.
you'll be right there
Yep,
standing
I'm
out
just
like
standing out right there. And
Who
you're
is
gonna
that
say,
chick in the
Who
picture?"
is that? Is that neighbor's kid that's in the picture? Yeah, so I hear you. I hear how difficult that, well, not difficult, but growing up, I think it's hard to adjust to it because you get teased and you get bullied. My name is Olive.
Right.
Oh my gosh, growing up with my name was the hardest thing.
Really?
You know, yeah, because kids would
Olive.
tease me Olive Oil.
Well, yeah, that's the first one. That's an easy one right there.
But then as I
Popeye was your
grow
boyfriend,
older, where's Popeye?
Right.
I still get it. My friends still say, "Where's Popeye?" I'm like, really? Yeah. So we have some mutual friends. Isn't that interesting?
Alfie.
Yeah, Alfie's
He was a guest on the show.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good guy. Me and another comic put together a show at his establishment. Have you ever been down to his place?
Yeah. Yes.
It's the Limelight.
Limelight. Yes.
Because
it's a pretty good size too.
It's been there. Well, I was in the military too for a little while. So I was at Travis, and I remember that his facility, that's been there for a while, and it's been under a bunch of different names.
Right.
But since he's had it, it's done really, really, really well.
Okay.
He's a good guy.
I really think that, and B and Alfie talked about this on the show that he was in. It's really about, people liking you. Like, even though let's say there's comedy shows that night.
Right.
It's really about your personality and what kind of character you have outside your profession that, that attracts people to you. So why would they want to come to your show instead of there's two other ones?
If you're going to come to my show, number one, I try not to. I don't come from an area of comedy where I'm mean and vicious or attacking people. Now, when you're doing stand up, obviously you're going to have an audience, and you're going to have people that are going to come there and going to want to heckle. They're going to, and comics a lot of times will take that and get pretty upset, and they'll attack back. I don't do that. Because I feel like there's times where people will be talking, and it's not even so much heckling. Sometimes they're just so excited to be at the show, they feel like that they're contributing to what's going on. So when people talk or whatever, I'll engage them a little bit and talk to them, but I don't get mad. So I don't really have hecklers. I never had that at any of my shows. When I first started, I had some interesting situations. You got to learn stuff the hard way.
Right.
But I try to treat all the comics with respect,
Right.
But show business is what it is. You're in the money game, so any business can be cutthroat.
Yes, and here's the thing: when you go to a comedy show, you're going go in a positive mentality because it's going to be funny. You might get picked at, right? So I went to a comedy show, and the comedian picked on Muslim women, and it was because I'm a Muslim, right? I am a Muslim.
See, she gave us a clue.
But most Muslims are covered head to toe, right? So most Muslim women. And so this comedian said that, well, I have a friend, and I asked him, and he's a Muslim too. He said, I said, why do you think our women covered themselves so much? He said, because our women are really hairy, so they're covering, because they don't want to shave so much. And then some of the women that were sitting there, they got offended and they got upset and they laughed. But I'm thinking the guy was just being funny.
So it didn't bother you. Okay.
No. Hey, come on. I'm not hairy. I'm not hairy. But I'm just saying, even if you are, it was funny. Or sometimes they pick on weight.
Right.
Weight, color, looks, nose, hair, eyes, whatever. You just make it funny, So I think when you go to a comedy show, you just go in the mood that you're gonna laugh.
Open-minded, it's what's gonna happen.
Just enjoy.
It's funny. I was doing a show in Davis. It was Davis. It was more of an open mic.
Right.
And again, my parents, the Filipino. I have a block of jokes about Filipino people in general. And while I'm doing the show, I look over, and a gentleman of Filipino descent was standing there with a pool stick looking at me. And I thought, do we have a problem?
Right.
And he's like, no. I said, let me finish my set and we'll talk.
Right.
And I got off stage and I figured, let me go and talk to him. And he says, look, I didn't appreciate some of those jokes you're making. I go, well, you're at a comedy show. Okay?
Right.
And if you listen to what I said, I was making fun of myself. I was making fun of everybody.
Right.
I go, I'm not trying. He was like, well, you know what? I didn't appreciate it, but I respect the fact that you came over here and talked to me and thank you. But I was like, okay, because I didn't want to get hit with a pool stick.
Well, have you ever got like tomatoes and stuff thrown at you? Because that first 5 minutes, I think it's crucial, because if you don't get the attention in the first 5 to 7 minutes, people lose interest. They kind of start saying boo and throw stuff at you, and you kicked out.
Never throw tomatoes. But it's funny that you bring that up, because in this day and age of the internet, smartphones, people's attention span is that.
Right,
so like you said, if you don't get them from the beginning, those first minutes, you're up there performing, this is what you see. You see people looking at their phones. You're seeing the top of heads is what you're seeing.
Exactly.
And so what are you going to do?
Right. Well, to me, I've done a lot of concerts, a lot of events, and sometimes the entertainer on the stage gets upset and keeps saying that, please pay attention or this or that. I'm like, wait a minute. If you're able to look at Celine Dion, she gets on the stage, she gets everybody's attention. She doesn't say anything. So it just depends on you. Right. On how you could get the crowd together. So now I have another guy, he's actually Filipino, and he's a comedian. He's the funniest person on face of earth. He's an older gentleman, but he's really funny. So he said he went to Las Vegas, and they invited him for the comedy stand. So he was standing on the stage. All of a sudden, he noticed that the crowd was all over the place, and he wanted to get them together. So he yelled out, he said, I want you guys to guess where I'm from. So he's Filipino. So totally Filipino. So everybody yelled Filipino. He goes, yes, that's waist up, but waist down, I'm black.
And he had them all, right?
That was the funniest thing. I said, you got my attention, right? And that's something like I said, the 5-7 minutes that you're on the stage, you have to be so crazy creative to get people's attention. Otherwise, you lose them. You agree with me?
I'll hear comics that'll come in and not do good, and they'll come off stage and say, this audience is horrible. I do not agree with that at all. The audience is there to see. They can never be horrible. Apparently, you were not giving them what they needed. Hey, if I have a bad performance, I put it on myself. I don't put it on the audience, especially if they paid money. That right there, I want to give them a show. I want to give them. I'm not going to. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that. I'm gonna try to be the funniest guy they've ever saw, but I definitely want to give them their money's worth. So I don't agree with the. And I've seen comics who get mad and then start making, like you said, comments about why are you guys not listening? Why are you? Give them something to listen to.
Sorry.
It's all right. That's probably one of the fans right there,
Yeah, calling on 1-800 number. That was a 1-800.
Exactly.
But do you watch some of the other comedians to get some ideas, or?
I definitely. From the time I was a kid, I wanted to do stand-up. I can remember, and I had the comics that I looked up to, and as I do it longer, there's more people, but you had the Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Bill Cosby, even though all this stuff has come up, for me, as far as Bill Cosby goes, I separate the comedian and the man, that I separate that.
Well, you don't want to get a person's, personal life, and a lot of people, a lot of people that love me, a lot of people that love me and follow me, it's because they might not agree when, my religious standards or my, how I do my personal things. They might not agree with that, but they agree with me and they like me because of the shows and because I help them financially. I help them with how to manage their money. And most of my work is volunteer and free, right? So you gotta love me. And I create jobs, and so they might not agree with a lot of my personal choices in my life, but when it comes to profession, they work with me, and they like me that way. So it's the same thing with a lot of people, they They might don't like you because you're bald, but
No.
but they love the fact that you make them laugh.
Right. I just want to go on record as saying I'm universally adored. Okay, I'm not. It's impossible to not like this face. I mean,
Right. So
is.
give audience something to. Why would they come to your show tonight?
Well, tonight I've got a stacked lineup of pretty talented comics. I mean, our headliner D. Tyler. Look him up on Facebook. To me, he's one of the he what's a good way
D.
to say?
Tyler?
Yeah, D. Tyler. That's what he. It's a stage name.
Familiar.
Yeah, he's unheralded. He's unappreciated. He's a guy that, I mean, if you go to see a show with him, I'm not just putting him on the show and just saying this. I'm a fan.
Okay.
I am a fan. From the minute when I first started doing stand up, I saw him, and he's side-splittingly funny. Just creative. I mean, I love the guy.
Right.
I mean,
So is that something so the concert tonight is for both of you? Are you guys doing it together?
it's a show with it's a show featuring a bunch of different people. So
Okay.
he's headlining it out. I'm actually sometimes I'll host this on this particular one. I'm going to perform. We've got a couple other newer comics that we're going to let. The thing is this show right here. After this show, we're going to take a little bit of a hiatus, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to take the show to a different venue.
Okay.
Just for reasons I don't really want to go into.
Right.
But I'm definitely going to keep the show. I just want it in a different area.
Right.
So we're changing things up. Like I said, we've got a lot of we've got the young guy Ryder Ali. He's another young guy that I actually found.
Okay.
And he's multi-talented. He does a lot of TV things, commercials, singing, but he's got a unique stage presence.
Right.
You know, I have him. I have Wendy. Man, I can't remember her name right now. I'm killing her right now. But she's a comic out of Sacramento who's pretty. She runs a room in Sacramento.
So how many people are going to be on this stage? How many comedians?
4.
Okay.
4.
So and where is it at?
It's going to be in Sassoon at the Sassoon Harbor Theater at 8:00 tonight. That's only a $5 admission for the show.
That's it?
That is it.
What time?
8:00 start time.
That's it?
I mean, and the thing about comedy shows is this show is only going to be an hour and a half.
Okay.
And the reason it's an hour and a half is because I know you've probably been to
All
shows.
this for an hour and a half.
That's it. Yeah, hour
You
and a
gotta
half.
go.
You should go. I mean,
gotta go.
you should. Thank you.
Yeah. So we have a bunch of friends that I see. Tito was online, and Tito and Rose, and so I do have a good group of Philfield, Vacaville that are on my social media.
Yeah, guys.
They follow on YouTube. But hopefully you guys go and check you out,
Yeah.
and give them some nuggets. Give them some golden nuggets so they come to your show.
Golden
nuggets. Something funny.
Oh, you mean you want to give them some of how I perform?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how about I give you a story?
Okay,
about when I first started doing comedy. The first place I ever did stand up was in San Francisco.
Right.
It's an open mic, and it's called the Brainwash Cafe. And it's a cafe / laundromat.
Brainwash Cafe. I'm
Yes.
interested in that.
Yeah, and it's been there for years.
Okay.
So I went online, found it, and was like, okay, that's where I'm going to go do stand up. I get in the car, get my car, drive up there. My buddy comes with me. I signed my name up on the list. And for me, it was a dream just to do it.
Okay.
So it wasn't even about being funny the first time. It was just about getting up there and just getting it out. And I remember the host, Tony Sparks is his name. He's a legend in San Francisco. He was the host, and he said, this is your first time, so he has all the people in there clap for you, bring you up like you're a headliner.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest. I got up there, and I just said everything so fast, just got off. Just the fact that I had done it.
Right.
I don't think I took a breath until I got home. I drove over the bridge.
Right.
It was just, and I did it that one time, and I was hooked. I was hooked from that minute
Okay.
forward. And every instance is not going to be that way. Some of them are bad. Some of them are good.
Yeah, it really, honestly, I think it really depends on your. It really depends on your crowd, on what mood they are.
Yeah.
And it might. It is always, to me, it's funny when you start, picking on yourself, what you are.
Well, yeah,
what
it brings you
think
down.
are.
Yeah, you're not putting yourself above people.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you bring yourself down, but then you see some people in the audience, and that's when you're gonna you have to. That's part of it, right? You just have to, right?
You don't, but hey, you know.
I mean, we were sitting in this one area, so the guy gets up to use the bathroom right when the show starts, right? And he's a little big, he's oversized, and he's holding 2 hot dogs, and
well, yeah.
and he's like, I mean, come on, his butt was in everybody's faces, and so of course the comedian had to pick on him.
Yeah,
so, but it was funny. He had a good time.
How did he take it? Did that guy take it okay?
He was laughing.
And that's all right. Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. When you do go to a comedy show, you just want to have a good time. Get drunk. I don't know.
Well, they definitely want to sell some drinks. That's for sure. 2 drink minimum.
Right. How is it tonight?
This place does not do alcohol.
So hide it in your bag, ladies. Take some stuff in your bag. One
of the reasons I might be probably moving the venue. But I have a question for you though.
Oh jeez.
I
thought we talked about this. My show. Okay.
I noticed. So this is sports. I noticed you Raider. Are you a Raider fan? Is that?
I could be. Well, no. I as I said earlier, I do love Raiders, but I could also like 49ers, and I'm one of those people that I will cheer for all the winners.
Are you a front runner?
She's
a front runner.
But what I did, if you notice my picture, I wore Raiders, but then I did the writing, and my headband was red, so I could support. I'm a politician. I'm into politics. Politics my thing. So I support both of them. I do have good friends that are 49ers and good friends of Raiders, so I support both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, wherever I get invited. I'm there, and I'll cheer for you. Right.
I personally am a Denver Bronco fan. The Super Bowl, Denver just won the last Super Bowl. But here's the funny thing. My wife, Oakland Raider fan.
Really?
We didn't when we first got together.
Right.
I mean, and hey, I'm not saying anything, but she told me she was into football. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm a Raider fan." I was like, "Yeah, whatever. You're not into football
Isn't
like that."
Isn't that big of a deal?
Sports is a big deal in our house. Oh yeah,
really?
it is.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
it is. Things get broken on Sundays.
He was about to get upset on me. Okay. All right. Fine. So you said earlier that you do some. You talk about sports and you're involved into sports, so talk about that. Where do you talk, or do you have a blog? Or?
I have a podcast. I have a podcast that it's called Sarcastically Speaking About Sports that I've been doing for probably about a year and a half now. It's just me. Every now and then I'll bring a guest in and talk, but I could go on with sports forever. And when I came up with the idea for it, I thought, you know what are the two things am I passionate about? Mm-hmm. Comedy, sports. So I put them together.
I thought he was going to say woman and alcohol.
Maybe you want to do 5 minutes tonight?
Maybe there's 4 of them. You must do
2 of them, did I?
Right.
Depends on where I'm putting them in the order.
Right.
But it's a sports show that I've doing for a while. I'm getting pretty good ratings. I've actually utilized it to apply for a press pass.
Oh, okay.
For because the Raiders and Broncos play in November, and it's going to be on national TV. Mm-hmm. I'll be at that game.
Okay.
So look for me. Maybe I'll be on the sidelines. Who knows?
Are you going to go live from there? You could go live.
I will. If you've got an in, please help me out.
Hey.
Do you?
Hey, tea time with Olive.
Uh-oh.
Yes, tea time with Olive.
Collaboration, folks.
Yes, definitely. So you could do if we'll talk with Kwana. If Kwana has room, we're gonna see that if you want to do your shows from here regular, because a lot of people would love to hear you.
Sports?
Yeah. Well. Here's the thing. You know how sometimes you say something and you say just kidding.
Right.
97% of time, just kidding. It's actually the truth.
Oh.
You just want to see people's reaction. Because if they take it well when you said it, then it's a not an argument, it's a discussion. But if they their facial change and they get upset, you're like, I was just kidding.
Oh, really? Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I got your point. So just
gonna try
kidding, it
that.
could be different. So a lot of my viewers know a lot of time when I say something, I don't want to get in trouble. So I usually say just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying. So that's a whole other show. Just saying.
It's funny that you use that
Yeah.
that phrasing. I had a joke that was centered around that just saying phrase.
Really?
And well, it was when I first started, and I was doing it at clubs everywhere.
It's kind of a safety exit. Just saying. So
Well, you can say anything and then just saying.
Just saying.
You know, I'm just saying. You know, you can tell them.
Uh-oh, we got a minute. We got to wrap it up. So go tonight to give them the address. And where can they get the tickets?
It's at the box office. Sassoon Harbor Theater in Sassoon, California. Shows at 8 o'clock. D. Tyler's headlining. Ryder Ali's hosting. I'll be one of the comics as well, B.A. Hunter. Check out my Sarcastically Speaking About Sports podcast. And another podcast I have is with my buddy Blaze Davis. It's called the Talk About Nothing podcast. These are both weekly. You can find them on iTunes or Podomatic.
Talk about nothing.
It's because we don't talk about anything.
Okay. All
Nothing.
Right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. So
Thank
for
you.
next few Wednesdays, our show will be during the day. It really depends on Kwana's schedule, I suppose. She's a politician too. She's into politics, so she's doing some work with Tony, both of them. So thank you so much, and see you soon.